Democratic Congressman Dean Phillips, who represents Minnesota's 3rd Congressional District, is a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. I spoke to him a short time ago. Take a look. And joining us now is Congressman Dean Phillips. Thank you so much for coming on.
Good to be with you, Esme.
Now, you are on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. You do get special briefings for being on that committee. What is your assessment on how this war is going right now?
Well, our assessment, first and foremost, is heartbreak. The fact that Ukraine was attacked in an unprovoked manner by a madman. The images, of course, we're all seeing on our television screens are heartbreaking. And as a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, as a member of the United States Congress, our first responsibility is to protect America and Americans. But our assessment so far is that Vladimir Putin has woefully miscalculated this initiative, did not anticipate a Ukrainian military that was so united, did not anticipate a Ukrainian country that was so united in opposition. His military has been poorly equipped, poorly trained, and I think a total fiasco so far, which is also frightening to many of us, because a man backed into a corner like Vladimir Putin can act in irrational ways, and our responsibility is first and foremost to protect America and, of course, defend freedom against tyranny, and that's exactly what we intend to do.
Let me ask you, has the House Foreign Affairs Committee gotten any briefings on Putin himself? He held a rally in Moscow this past week in which there were signs that he wanted to denazify Ukraine and the rest of Eastern Europe. What are you hearing about that? Obviously, that's completely ridiculous.
Well, I can't share classified information, Esme, but of course, I'm sure like anybody watching this man, the absurdity of denazifying Ukraine. Let me first tell everybody, my family left Russia at the turn of the last century because of Russian pogroms, the Russian Tsar attacking Jewish people, forcing many to flee. The president of Ukraine is a Jewish man, President Zelensky. To use denazification as the rationale for attacking Ukraine really is a reflection of the absurdity of this entire initiative by Vladimir Putin. The display in the stadium the other day, apparently a total setup. People forced to go there, many suspecting that it was set up by Vladimir Putin's inner circle to actually appease him, to put him in a better mood, considering the debacle that is becoming this effort in Ukraine.
We've been seeing the results of these Russian airstrikes. Apparently, a school where 400 people were sheltered was bombed just a few hours ago. We don't know how people are doing there. Do we need to give more air support? Should we consider a no-fly zone, or is that a bridge too far?
Well, Esme, first, it's like anybody, it's difficult, heartbreaking to see these images of the horror. These are war criminals. The depravity being exhibited is just horrifying. Hospitals, maternity wards, schools, the theater with 1,000 families in the basement we fear are still trapped. Those are intentional attacks by an absolutely depraved man in Vladimir Putin. We have to do as much as humanly possible without setting up World War III. That is a difficult tightrope to walk, as many can understand. So we will be supplying as much materiel, equipment, support, humanitarian aid as humanly possible. And let me assure everybody watching, the flow of material is substantial. It will grow. We're working with allies all around the world to share anti-aircraft systems, anti-tank systems, some significant assets that are frankly the very equipment that the Ukrainian army is using to great effect so far. If we establish a no-fly zone, Esme, it is an invitation to direct United States-Russian conflict that could set up World War III. That is exactly what we wish to prevent. Remember, there are two kinds of wars going on. There's the kinetic war, that is the military. There's also economic war, in which we have the upper hand, in which the sanctions that we have imposed on Russia and Vladimir Putin, his inner circle, are starting to take effect, and to great effect. So we have to give this a little bit of time to force him to negotiate. It is our expectation that he will, and then we will find peaceful resolution to a very, very dangerous circumstance.
I want to ask you about another topic. You are the lead on the Small Business Subcommittee on Oversight. What you feel that more needs to be targeted at these businesses that really got wiped out in the pandemic, businesses like restaurants. What's your assessment there?
I come from a business background, Esme. We, in a bipartisan way, established support policies to support small businesses during the pandemic, very successful ones at that. But we made a mistake in how we resourced it. And it's a responsibility of the United States federal government to ensure that all those who applied for support, all those who qualified, and all those who still need it are afforded that opportunity. 100 and some thousand restaurants receive support from the Restaurant Revitalization Fund, but 170,000 that applied, were approved, got nothing. I don't like picking winners and losers or the government to do so. I think it's a responsibility to refill the RRF, ensure that gyms, the live events industry, and other small businesses that were deeply impacted during the pandemic receive a little bit of support so they can keep their lights on and move forward. Too many had to take on extraordinary debt, while others received federal support and made it through. So I think that's a responsibility to do so, and I'm doing everything I can to ensure that that still happens.
Well, Congressman Dean Phillips, thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Esme.